And all the ground just has to go to the shipyard. I work for Northwood. Anyway.
All right, we'll call to order the meeting of the Zoning and Adjustment Board for City of Ocean Springs, Tuesday, February 14th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Valentine's Day, so appreciate everyone spending their day with their first love of public service and community involvement. So, first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the January 10th meeting. And they had a minute to each look at those and make a motion.
I've read them and recommend that they be approved as written.
All right, a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Next item on the agenda is old business, and we have none. So we'll move on to new business. It's 1511 Bowen Avenue, parcel ID number 601301200.000, requesting a front, rear, and both side yard setback variances. Wade, if you'll introduce us to the request.
Sure thing. First of all, you can see from the little inset map, the property is zoned R2, single-family residential, which is a minimum of typically 80 feet in width, and the lot size is 11,250. In the case of this piece of property, you can see obviously it's 50 feet wide, so still is somewhat developable from that regard, but the depth is only 76 feet. It's very limited, very shallow in that regard. So because of that, the applicants are requesting variances to setbacks on all four sides. Their plan is their desire and goal is to construct a new house, to demolish the existing structure and build a new house to maximize the buildable area of that. That regard, like I say, they're asking for variances from the standard front and rear 25-foot setbacks to 18 3/4 on both of those, and on the sides going from 10 feet down to 7.5 feet on each side. As I said, the shallow depth is one of the criteria that can be used to justify a variance, so they do have that situation at play here. Provided you three motions for this, one motion for each of the front and rear, and then also one for the side, should you choose to, should you want to adopt some or recommend some and not the others. But that's your call on that, of course. That's it. The applicants are here to discuss it with you, and that's really all I have to say about it.
All right, thank you. I guess this has got to be one of the smallest parcels in
Yes,
Springs, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It's
what is the lot size again of the?
It's 50 feet wide and 76 feet deep. So it's like, what's that?
3,800.
Yeah, 3,800 square feet.
I see it now. I thought it was all these papers.
Yeah.
The current house is 12 foot from the front of the street. The current house is 12
I
foot.
noticed.
And you want to go ahead and we'll let them come up and just, if there's anything you'd like to add that, Wade didn't touch on, just state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Craig Smith, and Trey O'Brien and I both, we purchased the property, and our options are to keep the house that's there and remodel it. It's in really bad shape, but it could be done. However, the house is only 12 foot from the street, which is a lot worse. So if we were able to get the variance, we would be roughly put a single car garage attached to the house and then just make it a nicer property. Anything? Would you like to add anything, Trey?
It'll look a lot better than what's there now.
Well, that was my one question, and it caught my eye on our little packet where it's historically platted, and I know the district ends at General Pershing, but what does that mean if this lot itself, and it's like it's 80-something-year-old home?
I was told this house is in the historical district.
It's not in a district, but it's registered as historic home on MDAH. Does that affect anything?
If it's not a Mississippi landmark or a state registered property, no. They have a listing of several houses that are, on
I
Russell
guess my question, does it
Avenue.
need to be in a designated district? It can stand alone though, right?
It doesn't, what do you mean?
A property doesn't need to necessarily be in a designated.
Correct, yeah, they have hundreds of houses that are outside
Right.
of our established districts, but they don't go under our district.
Right. I know you see the planning commission tonight, but I just didn't know if that's something that came up with you all, because it does come up on MDAH
Yes,
website.
it's on there, it's just not in our district.
Okay. I did not know the difference there. Just wanted to ask.
Anybody else, anything to?
Yeah, I might have, assuming that the variances all go, would there be like steps or a front porch or anything that would encroach in the?
We,
Yeah.
of course, we haven't finalized the plan because we don't have permission to do so, but kind of thought something similar to like this, some kind of floor plan would be. I looked for plans, we'll probably custom draw it, but it's something similar, maybe a really pretty white painted brick. And it probably would be on a 2 by 12, maybe not a chain wall. There's really not room for a porch.
I see what you're saying.
But it would have a garage, and then here, then a family room, and then bedrooms would be upstairs with 2 baths. Like to put the one bedroom downstairs if we could, but may not be able to. Probably can't work that out, because you're so limited. House size. That's kind of what we were thinking of.
But like the steps or whatever, they'd be inside the.
Yes, sir. I probably, I guess a 2 by 12, you might have one. You just have one step.
Very good, Nick.
Not covered. It would be not covered.
So that, I guess you call a front stoop, that's within that setback you're asking for?
Well, it would be covered. So a step, if it's not covered, it's not in the setback. But it would just be a 12-inch step going into the house. To the front. It'd be a 2 by 12 foundation because it's high there. We'd have to do a chain wall and just a monolith foundation and have one step.
Like good use for that place.
Did you see that?
Yes. Next place. Have no question.
Have any other questions, anything to add? I just know in the request, you say, hey, the goal is to construct 35 by 40. That'll be a little larger. Obviously, this plan is smaller than that and does fit kind of within the setbacks that you're asking for. So just wanted, that to be known that it does say 35 by 40 in our report, but which would be 2 deep. Yeah. But which,
We'll go with whatever we have to.
Yeah. And if you go with, something like that, where you don't need, the entire front and rear setback, I would just ask if you could slide it as far back from the street as possible. I know the house to the west on the corner of General Pershing, it's pretty close to the street also. But then the two just to the west, so are pushed back a little further. And I think the one on the east is maybe just a little further back than this. Or it may be at the 25 looking at this, but that would just be, a request, sliding that back, just to kind of make it in line with the rest of the houses, on that block. So.
Looks like the next house over to the west, it's not on here, but their side looks like it's less than 10 feet existing home. It looks pretty narrow there. That's just a concern of mine, having two side-by-sides that are near on these together on that side.
Well, I think the current house is actually closer than that, than the 6 1/4, it looks at the plan, it looks like it's even closer than it's supposed to be.
The one on the east?
To the
west?
west, if you look at looking at this,
Weapon.
yeah, there's the county map. You look at it, it's like it's even, see right now, it's the existing house, it's closer.
I can see it.
I
Yes,
see what
sir,
you're saying.
it looks like it's
Right
actually,
on it.
it actually looks like it's a lot closer now than what it would be if we, so they're here and to the west and to the front, they're really close to the setbacks.
Except if you have to rebuild it, I'm just somewhat of a concern, being, again,
Sure.
being too close again on that side.
Sure.
All right. Any other questions, comments, discussion? Or would anyone like to make a motion?
Look at these.
Closer.
See, front, rear.
We do that as
You have to do all three if we,
one at a time.
the way it's done, it's separate.
You could do all three. You could roll them
Yeah.
all together
Right.
if you feel that's probably. I just broke it out just in case, but rolling one together would be perfectly
I
fine.
think you explained it well.
Okay, I'll go for it.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve a 25% variance from the standard R2 district front yard building setback, as well as the rear yard building setback and the side yard building setbacks, all 25% variance at 1511 Bowen Avenue due to non-conforming small size of the R2 residential lot.
All right, motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second,
Okay,
all those in
sure.
favor with an aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. All right, motion passes. It'll be on just consent agenda for the
Yeah,
board
next Tuesday,
next Tuesday in this room at 6
o'clock.
Yeah. All right, so you guys make up our audience, so I'm assuming there's no other audience requests, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
Thank you all very much.
Good luck
Thank
with it.
you.
Motion to adjourn? Motion is second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, aye. Motion passes. Meeting's over.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead,
Happy Valentine's Day.
Helping beautify Ocean Springs. Anybody beautifies just put them.
In the right way,
Yeah.
as long as it's beauty.
I guess anything looks better than what's there right now.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised. I was talking